Steve Santini is an internationally recognised escape artist, historian and collector of some truly extraordinary historical artefacts. He has performed some seriously extreme escapes, appeared on television and starred in shows where he travelled the world searching for unusual, fascinating and sometimes macabre pieces of history. Ripley's Believe It or Not even named Steve the world's most extreme escape artist. Steve's fascination with history began when he was a child and eventually developed into an incredible collection covering everything from ancient restraints and instruments of punishment to Titanic and other rare historical artefacts. He is also an author, having written books covering the Titanic, crime and punishment, and the torture instruments used throughout history.
Travel with LisaMH, pack my bags, come explore with me. From historic halls to quiet streets, every place has stories to meet. Cemeteries, landmarks, memories, old stone paths and mysteries I follow wonder wherever I am. Curiosity is my compass.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Thank you for having us back.
Oh, you're welcome.
Really
It's great the first
appreciate
time. We had fun.
Yeah. So last time I was here,
Yes.
we had a look around this amazing room, didn't we?
Yeah, this shipwreck museum, it's
Yeah.
amazing. But I think I've got something that might amaze your particular interests a little bit more.
Really? What,
Yeah.
more than this?
Yeah, more than this.
I'm excited. So are we going through that?
We're going through this door here.
What's
okay?
in here then?
Well, 500 years of judicial punishment relics.
Oh.
So many moons ago, I was an escapologist, an escape artist. And I started collecting handcuffs and locks and stuff and researching the time periods they were used in and the justice systems and the laws and the customs. And that led to finding things from the witch trials and the persecution and traveling all over Europe to dungeons and torture chambers and castles and prisons and accumulating what's in that room. So it's true matter of be careful what you wish for because you may get it. Here we go.
I'm excited.
Right.
Go on, let's go.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, come on in. Wow. Yeah, this is something, eh? It's quite,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah. Isn't it neat?
Very neat. Look at this. Oh, my God, my eyes have gone everywhere.
Right.
Come on.
Okay.
Calm down.
We'll start over here if you want to come in, Adam, and I'll just close that door. Yeah, the one with the straight jacket on it. All right. Yeah, so it's incredible. Oh yeah, there I am. Somebody painted me in my other element. They did a fun job with that.
That's you.
Yeah, this collection, it comes from all over Europe and all over North America. As I said, it started out of interest in the escape artist stuff I was doing as a young kid, and it led to, oh my gosh, acquiring all these different things involved with criminal punishment, going back easily to the 1500s through to modern day. So you see stuff, we're going to show you stuff from Germany, from France, from Switzerland, and here in Canada, North America.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, but it's spread, once again, we're tight on space here, so we're forced to put things together.
Yeah.
This case is interesting. Everything that's in here belongs together.
Okay.
That man there in that oil painting, he was called Johann George II, the Fox of Dornheim. He was the Prince Bishop of Bamberg, Germany, 1623 to 1631. And he came to realize, along with the help of his assistant Friedrich Forner, who was the auxiliary bishop, that there was a lot of money to be made in witch hunting. So they decided, although Forner really believed in witches, I don't know if the Prince Bishop did, but they started denouncing people as witches. Those people were tortured into confession.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't punish you back in the day unless you confessed. And then they were burned alive, beheaded or burned alive. And it became such a good business and so brisk that they built a custom-built witch prison called the Malfit's House that was just made for incarcerating and torture. It was a factory of death.
Right.
All the things in this case come from him, that time, that period, and were used 1623 to 1631.
Wow.
We have an oil painting of the Fox of Dornheim there.
Yes.
Behind it is a coin that he had minted. They're very rare. There was only a few hundred made. That's literal blood money. what they would do, if you're accused of being a witch, it wasn't the old crone that lived in the woods. It was the wealthy burgomeister, or it was men, women, and children.
Wow.
And when you confessed to being a witch, all your property was confiscated by the church, which meant he and his cronies.
Of course, yeah.
So that coin is made out of silver, minted in the year 1623, and he's got his picture on the coin. He's quite a monster, this guy. This saltware, it's called glazed saltware.
Yeah.
It's got a Christian cross on the side of it, you can see. And that was for like the early form of investigating a witch. That would be full of holy water. These sharp bodkins, or pointed needles, the witch would be stripped naked, and then they would search for moles or areas on their body and pierce them with these bodkins.
Jeez.
If you felt pain, you were not a witch. But if you did not feel pain, you were a witch. Then they could go on to the torture. So that was the early part. That wasn't even the punishment yet. But you see, these could be used with a lot of subterfuge. You could hold one of those in your hand and through sleight of hand appear to have it piercing somebody, and then withdraw it and no blood. They're a witch. So, and they would do this to set the scam up, to keep it going.
Right, okay.
And then, of course, do you admit to being a witch? Well, you know you're going to be burned alive or beheaded. Of course you're not a witch. Well, then you go to the torture chamber. And they would use all manner of instruments to get you to confess your witchery. And then what makes it even more insidious, they would torture you to name the others in your coven. Well, there was no coven. There were no witches. But you're being stretched on the rack nude, you're having red-hot pliers applied to you, whatever they're doing, you're going to say things to make it stop. And that was the evil of the great witch hunts of history. I mean, Salem had 19 people died. These European ones in Germany and so possibly hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children were witches. Yeah. So in here we've got an executioner's sword from that region, and there's words engraved in this on both sides.
Yeah. Okay.
And what those words translate to say is, long is the pain of the wheel or the rack, and on the other side of the sword it says, quick, give me your neck. Meaning it's better to confess and then be beheaded by me than to suffer the wheel and the rack, both forms of brutal punishment.
Oh my goodness.
You've got a judge's gavel down here. You see it's in the form of a fist. It's carved out of wood.
Oh yeah. Cool.
They used to use a fist to pronounce the sentence, the iron fist of justice. So that would come slamming down, on a Bible or on a judge's bench.
Wow.
You had the actual key to the Malefit's house. Those
look at that.
Symbols at the top are actually IHS. It's a Catholicism symbol, Roman Catholic symbol, designed to ward off evil. And you've got the Christian cross there. Remarkably rare. And here we have a pair of torture screws from there. You can see the serrated jaws.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. They would use those on your thumbs, fingers, big toes even. And shockingly, that was considered the mildest torture, thumb screws.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. And this book here belonged to Friedrich Forner, his auxiliary bishop that instituted the witch hunts. So you have everything from the executioner swords to some of their punishment. You have a flogging whip here. Look at that. It's like a cudgel almost. And this is all from 17th century Germany.
Yeah, that would smart, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And these are some of the manacles that they would have had used in those times as well. So you've got like a handcuff here, but there's no chain linkage. So your hands are put inside and they're right tight together. Well, that's so you couldn't pull your thumbs away from the thumb screws when they wanted to apply those. So all these things had a, sinister purpose behind them.
Wow.
That's remarkable.
What's this one?
That is a hand clamp for toes or fingers that would get the entire hand. You would put the hand in between these jaws. She'd open up like this, or the toes, because we all know how much it hurts when you stub your toes or step on a Lego or something. I mean, they must have known too. So you have the instrument goes like this. It cranks open like that. Your digits are put inside there. They close this, and then they put this back over, and they start to turn the screw. And what ends up happening is you will end up with fractures, severe damage to your limbs. Yep. And if you really think about it, you think, well, that's horrible. There were worse things, but In societies back then where you worked with your hands, you needed your hands for everything, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be a cripple, mind you, nobody ever really got away from all this stuff without confessing. You were made to confess, and they made
Well, you didn't have a choice, did you? Let's face it.
Look, it's going to get to the point where you can't take it anymore, and sure, you're going to confess. So there's all types of manacles. The handcuffs and shackles you see here are from all over the world. I've collected them like my whole life. It started with the escapology, and then it just turned into just carrying on and going farther. Here's one here that's a manacle, but it's got 2 movable plates. So you could use it as a handcuff and adjust it by turning the screw, or you could put the fingers between these plates and torture somebody with it as well. So it's the Swiss Army knife of Inquisitor's tools.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at this thing. This is amazing. This is a witch catcher. It's a pole arm. These are spring-loaded, you see?
Oh, yeah.
So you would push that towards somebody's neck, and they would push in, and it would go over, and they'd snap locked behind. So a lot of people believe that witches or people that did evil work, you didn't want to touch them. So you'd have the witch at a distance bringing he or her to the dungeons, to the prisons, to the court, and you'd be using a tool like that.
Those people, most of them were innocent anyway.
Absolutely. All of them were innocent.
They're terrified.
Oh, yes.
I'm not talking about witches. I don't believe in witches. I think
Well,
they're all innocent.
There were none.
But like people who... This sort of stuff has been used on people who weren't being accused of witches because it's a crime and punishment, isn't it?
No, witchcraft was a crime. So this was being used on people accused of the crime of sorcery or conjuring, and it would start like this. Your cows stop giving milk. Or a cattle miscarries, right? Or your crops are destroyed by a hailstorm.
So you were a witch.
Right. Or somebody had cursed the village. Somebody's a witch. Let's find them. Let's get to work. So there's just everything. Right where you were looking just now is a prison door from Victorian London. That's from an English prison. There's the feeding hatch there that they would lower to
look at that.
Put the food in. And so that would come from the time of the Ripper.
Do you know what prison that was from?
No, I don't. But it's certainly from that period, and it came from the UK.
Awesome.
Cost a mint to ship. It's solid oak. It weighs a ton.
It looks. It does look quite heavy. I have to say.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so there's everything here relating to crime and punishment. So I brought up the witch trial stuff because it really was a crime to consort with the devil or do jealousy. But they also use torture instruments like this on people accused of crimes. Because in a great many of the European areas, they believed that you could not properly punish someone until you had a confession of guilt. It's kind of a double-edged sword. So how do you get the guilt? How do you get the confession? You apply pain until they confess.
Until they confess.
So you would have had a lot of crimes, I'm sure, where people didn't do what they said, and you're gonna say if you wear women's undergarments as a hobby, I mean, you're gonna do anything to make it stop.
Yeah. Wow. Has there been anything that you wasn't able to escape from? Probably not much.
No, not much. Not much. Not much. Couple close calls a few times. Yeah, but
wow. I wouldn't even know where to begin, Steve.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
This is a shame mask, eh? It wasn't all torture and mutilation and beheadings. Sometimes they would do something to cause the person so much embarrassment or shame in public in their own village that the person would never do it again. Like if you were spreading gossip.
Yeah.
See, this mask has an open mouth. We can assume maybe it was forced to be worn by a person that spread rumors about somebody. So they tie this or lock this on your head, and you have to wear it for a couple days.
Yeah.
Walk the streets, ringing a bell or whatever, and everybody would laugh at you and that. And generally, you wouldn't do it again after that. This is that holy water font from the wall of a Knights Templar castle. It's extremely old. It's, you can check that out.
Wow. Can I touch it?
France. Oh, yes, absolutely. Been around a long time. It's not going to be harmed by that.
Look at that. What year would you say that is?
Oh, gosh. 1400s?
1400s.
Early 1400s? And that would be part of the wall and the chapel inside one of these castles that they would have held.
Yeah.
A stronghold back in the day.
How awesome.
It is. And down here we have a couple of other sinister things. These are gallows hooks. Back in the day when they did hangings back in this time period, there wasn't the long drop method where you know, a trapdoor like Pierpoint used.
Yeah.
You would have a hook in a cross beam. The executioner would put a ladder beside the gallows. This is really demented. And you would have your hands tied behind your back, and he'd force you to walk up the ladder beside him. You get to the top, you'd already be wearing the noose, and tied in the end of the noose was a loop. And he'd just put the loop over the hook, and he'd scamper down the ladder and pull the ladder away.
Crikey.
So, like, it's not swift enough to break the neck usually.
No, that's slow.
Right. Quite a few of the hangings in London at Tyburn were done this sort of a way, where you're on a cart and the cart just pulls away, or a ladder, and you're not going to, it's not swift. And down below, those are all ankle and wrist manacles from old wooden pillories and whipping posts. They had flogging posts where they would publicly flog people.
Yeah.
And so it would be like this. One of these is mounted into the side of the post like this, and there'd be a staple coming out here, and lift this up, put the hands in, put a peg through here, and on either side of a post. So you're like this, and then they'd flog a person. Jeez. These are very old as well. Extremely old. This is an interesting little toy. You see, I don't know if you can see the teeth inside that. Can you see them?
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah. This is for people that had done some serious blasphemy or serious...
Oh, not the tongue.
Oh, yes. This is to grab the tongue. And you notice this is here. It's not for pulling teeth because it's not hooked. It's for the tongue. And your finger would go there to give you the leverage, and you pull it out, and they would cut the tongue out of the mouth.
So be careful.
Yeah. It's
Can I take a look?
Feel the teeth in there. That if that grabbed a hold of soft skin, it would grip you.
Wow, I don't think the camera's picking it up.
How many tongues were on that?
We don't know. Happy to report. I think I want to know. It's wild, eh?
Oh,
Just put it there. That's good.
That's not cool.
No, it's not. And then you had things like this branding iron. You had not always executing all criminals, but sometimes you would have letters that denoted the crime, and you would brand the person on the cheek or the forehead. And this was a major death sentence too, because you'd end up, going to another town or a village, and they'd see that mark on your face, and you couldn't work. Nobody would hire you.
Yeah.
You were a felon. They might as well have killed you.
Yeah.
But,
some people would say they'd be useful nowadays, wouldn't they?
Well, yes. This is a gibbet. Very, very common thing back in pirate lore, and also in Scotland and parts of England. You would come to the crossroads of going into a town, and they would have usually a skeleton or a rotting corpse hanging up in one of these.
Wow.
It was advertising. It was, if you come into this area and you cause trouble, you're going to face a serious punishment.
Yeah.
And usually the person had been hanged and would occasionally be tarred so the body would be preserved longer. And they'd slap them in one of these things, and it was advertising. With pirates, it would be at the entrance to a harbor. You'd have the gibbets, or gibbets as they call them. And for some people, there are accounts of really, really bad offenders for racing being put in these alive. So you can only imagine exposure and to the elements and the birds pecking at you. And you can't. This one's really insidious. This gibbet or gibbet, it has wrist clamps. So like you can't even use your arms to shoo away anything that's gnawing on you or stinging you.
Oh, that is
people
torture.
Thought about this.
It's torture. Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing they were often used with people that had previously been executed. Here's another one of these torture clamps or screws. Anything that would fit in here. Literally, you could just. Yeah, this one gives me the willies. Anyway, we won't go there. Okay. This is something from Switzerland. This bell no longer works, but this was locked around people's necks that were convicts that had to do road work. So you had a bell around your neck, and every time you moved, it would dingle. So people would, going by, they'd hear ding, 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 and they'd know that these were convicts doing work.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Another shame mask here.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's not wild, and your nose would be bothered by that. And yeah, this person was obviously a gossip. You've got the long tongue.
Yeah.
Right? Spreading lies. Behind it are these really brutal, cruel iron mitts. And quite a lot of the punishments back then that resulted in a death sentence were quite gruesome. If you've seen the movie Braveheart,
Yeah.
you remember what happened to William Wallace. There was several things done to him. And,
Yeah.
so if you were going to face something like that, They would probably lock you in your cell wearing mitts like that, so you couldn't harm yourself and deprive the crowd of a good show. So you're wearing these mitts, you can't fashion a noose to end your life.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
But another thing that they could be used for is held over coals where your hands are inside.
Crikey.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they thought of everything, these people.
My hands are staying in my pocket now.
That's right.
What's this?
This is
at the back?
Lady Justitia. This is from the 1600s. This is from Germany. And that's Lady Justice with the scales in one hand.
Oh, I can see.
And
yes.
her sword in the other.
Wow,
and it's
that's
very interesting.
beautiful.
It is gorgeous. It's an actual, it's very, very old, eh?
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this is she's not blindfolded. The American Justitia is blindfolded.
Yeah.
But this one is not. It sees. I don't know.
Look at the detail on this, though, guys.
Look at how deep the carving is, and that's into oak.
From the age, like we were talking before, weren't we, about how they way back in the 1600s, 1500s, how they made the tools to be able to
do these
make
things.
Carvings like this. That's just
people were
gorgeous.
remarkably skilled with their
Yeah.
hands. We have something else that's kind of funny in a way. It's this guillotine model. It was made by a gentleman that was sentenced to the guillotine in France, and he made that in his cell in the weeks leading up to his execution. And later on, there was no metal blade. The guard put the blade in it, but he was allowed to whittle away, believe it or not, some old cigar boxes and pieces of wood to make it. What a thing to make. I mean, I wouldn't want to be reminded of that. I'd be...
No. But actually, how good is that, though, as well?
People are very unusual. I mean,
yeah.
Everyone faces these things in a different way.
For sure.
This is a pulley for what was called the strappato torture, which was something that was used in a lot of places. All you needed for this, you didn't need a well-equipped torture chamber. All you needed was a ceiling and a pulley and a rope. And they would tie your hands behind your back and put the rope through the pulley, and you would be hoisted into the air. Now, this would leave you hanging by your shoulders in a very stress-filled manner, prone to dislocation. And then if that wasn't enough, you see that stone down there? It's called a Folterstein, torture stone. They would tie that to your ankles and haul you up.
Jesus. So your arms are behind your back,
yes,
bound together behind your back, pulled
That's the
up
first
from
degree.
the pulley.
That's the first degree of the torture.
Yeah.
The second degree of the torture is to have the stones attached. And they had various weights and sizes, and then pull you up again. Jeez. And they would leave you hanging for hours at a time. And then another thing that they're said to have done is to grab a hold of the handle of the winch and let it go, and you would drop and then stop it right before you hit the floor. But I think that's nonsense, because you can't stop a spinning windlass. You'd get hurt.
Right.
So likely what they did is they would grab the rope you're hanging from, pull it down 2 inches and let it go. And you just enough to go, to jerk the sockets. I know, it's obscene, but that's what the pulley's from. And
how do they think of these things, though? There's some evil minds, eh?
Well, I know. I mean, they must have stepped on a number of Lego pieces and stubbed their toes and all that stuff. They worked with what they had.
Yeah.
This case has to do with the execution by beheading. In Germany, that was very, very popular for a long time, same as Switzerland and France. This sword here, you can see that there's a wheel carved into it on a stand. The wheel was the symbol of the executioner in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s.
Wow.
It symbolized the wheel of justice spinning eternally around.
Yeah.
And this picture frame, you see it as well. This picture frame was carved for an executioner family in Paris called the Sansons.
Oh, look at that.
And it was given to them.
On there and
there's an axe. There's a ball and chain. There's a whip. There's a cat o' nine. There's a pillory with a neck collar, and there's a wheel.
Oh, goodness.
All executioner tools. And in there we see a newspaper clipping of a German executioner before they had the guillotine in Germany, using an axe to sever a head.
What's that, 1891?
Yep.
19th of April, 1891.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the German executioner, you'll notice, is wearing top hat and gloves and tails.
Yeah.
Very formal.
Yeah. Oh, look.
For real.
Are they the actual ones?
Yes, they are. The gloves and the top hat come from a Berlin executioner. That sword, before the axe, they had the sword. In Germany and France and Switzerland, places like that, used a sword to behead.
Yeah.
And that's an executioner's sword, but it's very unusual. It's small. You saw the one from Bamberg in the other case. This is one that would be the size of a woman to use. So to have a woman executioner is phenomenally rare.
Wow.
but it must be because it's got the symbol of the wheel.
Yeah.
And they don't have a point on them, the executioner swords, because they're not for stabbing, they're for cutting sideways, right?
Yeah. And
This is a beheading axe, a German beheading axe. And you'll notice 3 holes have been punched into it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lore behind that. They believed that the executioner was touching unclean people, bad spirits, criminals. So nobody wanted to hang with the executioner. He often would live outside the town. He couldn't do business with people in town. He'd grow his own food because they thought it was bad luck to do any commerce with him. So they believed all this energy, these things were real. And a weapon like that, after beheading so many people, the executioner might occasionally have 3 holes punched into it to symbolize the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And this would allow some of that energy to drain from the blade, because they believed if a blade was used too often and that energy wasn't allowed to dissipate, it would possess the executioner.
Right.
And they believed the executioner is the only one that can control the weapon's thirst for blood. This is some of the lore.
Yeah.
There was an executioner, I think it was in Switzerland. They had caught a number of pirates. They were 50, 60 men. And he was beheading them with a sword. And the justices said, okay, that's enough. You must be tired. We stop for today. We finish the rest tomorrow. And he says, no, I could go on. I could behead all these men. I could behead you and you and you. And the crowd stoned him to death because they were afraid the sword had possessed him and it lusted for blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all things that happen.
Wow. Yeah. What's the story with the skull?
Well, the skull is a person that was allegedly beheaded by a sword. It's German. It's from the 1610, 1615 period.
Wow. What about this?
The axe in the back is a Hungarian executioner axe. It's big, massive, ugly, and crude.
Yeah, look at that.
Not very refined. The German ones tended to have a very short handle. They're easier to control. The British executioners that used an axe, like on royalty, most of those guys were drunk. They were drunkards. They didn't take their craft too seriously. They were nervous. They were drunk.
Typical Brit, eh?
Well, I don't know about that, but I know a number of them missed.
Started way back, didn't it?
Like Mary, Queen of Scots. First, she was delivered a glancing blow. The guy didn't even hit it right. And Anne Boleyn, was it? She requested a swordsman be brought in from France because she'd seen so many botched executions.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it's terrible. It was done, but it was done. This is a skull's bridle. The bane of all women. Women hate seeing this thing. And it's got a tongue depressor in there. Okay, and this would be locked on your head. If you are nagging your husband too much, he could go to the local burgomaster or the justice and rent this for the weekend. Literally. And lock it on like so. And you're not talking, you're not nagging, you're not arguing, you're not doing anything.
Peace.
Can you believe it? Isn't it terrible?
It is. That is awful.
Yeah. This is a dungeon door from the 18th century, so it dates to the 1700s. Still got the lock in it. And
from where, Steve?
Germany. This one's from Germany. So we've got a dungeon door from England over there, and a prison cell from Germany.
Yeah.
And this is known as a neck violin or a shame violin because your arms are up like you're playing a violin, but your hands go here, your neck goes here, and you're in a position like this where you're locked into it. This one would have been used on people suspected of witches because if you feel inside here, there's blunted iron points.
Oh my goodness, there is too.
They believed back in the day that iron, being an elemental property from the earth, could immobilize a witch's powers to cast spells.
Right.
So...
And up there. Yeah. On the neck too?
Yeah, neck too, yeah. Wild, eh?
People were tiny back then, weren't they?
Sure they were, yeah. That would fit you.
I guess once my hand is free, but like the neck, it just looks tiny.
It looks tiny,
really?
yeah.
Oi, it wouldn't fit me. It wouldn't fit me.
I'm fortunate; it would never fit me. It's really good. Another executioner axe. Down here is cool. You see that center set of irons on the floor there? They're monstrously heavy. Those are ankle irons, and they're riveted shut. And these were used on the convict ship Success. Success was a ship that took British prisoners to Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, and then toured the world as the most horrible ship that ever floated. They toured it around as a terror attraction and had all the whips and manacles and stuff on board. Can you imagine having to wear those? They would chew away the skin of the ankles. You couldn't move. You had to braid yourself. and then you're in trouble.
Just to reiterate, though, to everybody who's watching, that these items are all authentic,
Oh, yes.
original items
Oh, yes, they are.
that have been used for what they've described that they're being used
Absolutely.
for.
When they're not, like the guillotine we had replicated. Okay, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Because you just can't get one.
Yeah.
But it's a German guillotine, too. It's a pattern after one. And we needed it for an exhibition. I acquired these things, and when I started acquiring them, it wasn't a gruesome, I've got to have that. Oh, that did terrible things. No. I wanted a museum that would hopefully serve as a cautionary tale. I didn't want a torture museum with soundtracks of screaming for mercy and blood-soaked mannequins. I want to tell the true story of how we as a society, because I believe how we treat each other is taking the temperature of what kind of creatures we are.
Yeah.
And if you can't learn from if you hide this stuff away, it has a nasty habit of coming back again and again and again. And we're seeing that. We keep seeing it.
We can't hide it, though. Well, why would we want to hide? This is our history. This is what we've evolved from, isn't it?
Nowadays,
allegedly.
you have people going, oh my God, that's politically correct. I'm traumatized. Oh, wow, I looked at the eye. I'm freaked out. You know what? So then don't come see the exhibit.
Yeah.
But for the people that do, it's important that you learn what we did, because then you can see the symptoms and signs of it just cycling around again.
Yeah.
And hopefully try to run it off. You know?
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
how I feel about it.
And you have a passion for this stuff, Steve, as well. It's not just a thing to own, is it? It's.
So this guillotine is an exact copy we had made at quite an expense, actually, of a guillotine that's in the Pankrat prison in Prague in the Czech Republic, that was used by the Nazis in World War II to behead resistance fighters. And when Prague was about to fall, the Nazis dismantled the guillotine in Pankrat prison and dumped it into the river. There was the Danube, right? And then eventually it was found after the war, pulled out of the river. They now reassembled it, and they have a memorial room at the museum where they have this thing, and every year they put flowers on it and so forth. I wanted this thing to show, you think guillotine, you think the French version, the big tall thing.
Yeah.
The German version was exactly this scale, exactly this size. This is a mass killing machine. It's designed to be efficient, cold, metal, ruthless. And it would go one person, two, just keep going and getting rid of people. And this to me, if you read the plaque that we've made for it, this is like something to remind us of tyranny and of what it's capable of doing. And I believe you need to have these things, and if you don't have them anymore, people don't.
Oh, look, it's even got the bucket at the back.
They have a really industrial-looking bucket, don't they? You've got it, and if you look at this strap here, your head would go through the pillory here, and then over into the bucket here, but they pulled a strap up to raise your head up so as to not damage the blade of the guillotine. They called it the fall bile, which means falling blade. So it wouldn't hit the back of the skull, it would hit the neck properly. They were very efficient people.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a drain there. You can see these holes. This is gruesome. There's a drain. And we have in storage the spout. There's actually a metal spout that goes to a drain in the front.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's just... if you look at the picture over there, that's Sophie Scholl. That was painted for us by a dear local artist, a friend of ours.
Oh, look at that. I just realised. I was looking at that earlier. I didn't even see that.
Sophie Scholl was involved with the White Rose movement. And the White Rose movement, when the Nazis were coming to power in Berlin, she was a student at the school. And she and a number of her friends were distributing leaflets against the Nazis. She was arrested, as were a number of her students, the people that were cohorts, colleagues, and they were sentenced to be guillotined for speaking out against the Nazis. So these sorts of things remind us that there's people that have paid a terrible price in history to stand up for what they believe in and tell the truth. And we owe it to them, all of us do, to not hide these things, but to learn from them and gather as much courage we can get ourselves. Yeah. We don't want to slide back into these tyrannical times.
No. Is this part of this or
No, it's just, it happens to be sitting there. This is from your country, the UK.
Right.
This is made by Hyatt of Birmingham. It's a transport belt from the 1920s. Okay, there's cuffs on either side. Yeah. And they put, your hands are at the side. You can't swing at the officers. And on top of this are a number of different jail locks from different prisons and so forth. This is from Sing Sing. It's one of the old American
Wow.
keys. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful key. I mean, there's everything here from those things to things like this that are used to convey people from courtroom to prison. This is a come along, and you go on the wrist like so,
Yeah.
and then just
Oh, it grips.
now you've got the person. So any movement to the left or right, you can control the person.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild what they have, some of these things. So this is also from the UK. This is a prison cell lock from about the time of that door over there,
Okay.
1800s. And this is one from early 1900s, 1905. It's once again British as well. So yeah, these things come from all over the world. That's wild. Eh?
That is wild.
This piece here is just hanging here because I don't know where to put it. It's a Turkish prison strap. You should feel this. Feel how brutal that is. Feel the leather. Flex it. It's insane.
Oh, wow.
This would be applied to a person's buttocks to strap them. And yeah, it's wild.
That would smart a little
And
bit.
also the
wouldn't it?
soles of the feet.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the movie Midnight Express? It's about a fella that was smuggling hashish out of Turkey back in the day. It's a true story. I can't remember his name, and it was a crime that happened in the 70s. He was sent to a Turkish prison, and a number of these things happened to him. And there was beating the soles of the feet with a rod or something like this is something that they did over there, and it was, yeah.
Makes you cringe, doesn't it?
It makes you
really
cringe.
does cringe.
Okay, where to now? Let's see. This will make you cringe. This is unbelievable. Down there are the authentic blueprints of this thing. Those are from the 1700s. They were published to show blacksmiths how to make this for your local justice officials. This goes on your lower legs. These are blunt spikes inside. Goes on your lower legs. These screws are tightened with this wrench, compressing your shin and your lower leg. I know, isn't that just incredible? It's remarkable.
I've got no words. I've
I
got
know.
no words. What?
But you have to look at this and think in one weird way about it. I will bet you dimes to dollars that most of these things were created by people that had accidents. Like you bang your shin on something. Well, you become quickly aware how many nerve endings. Oh my God, that hurts. Hans makes the thing, and they start. I think that's how some of these things came about.
Amazing.
This is a very old book on how to detect witches, how to arrest them, how to torture confession out of them, and how to punish them.
Oh, can you age that, or have you aged it?
Oh yes, it's early 1600s.
Wow, look at that.
Next
guys.
to the Malleus Maleficarium, that particular volume used by witch hunters resulted in many, many deaths.
Wow.
The Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches, was the most notorious witch hunter book, but that was the second, and it was positively evil. Wow. There's an old woodcut from 1500s. It shows an old woman bewitching a man by putting a spell on him. You see at the top of a hill, there's a demon with horns that is making a fire that causes smoke to go into the clouds, and to the left of it, hail's coming down to destroy the crops. Just like we talked about earlier, natural, environmental things happening that they couldn't explain.
Yeah.
So they're suddenly saying, a witch bewitched a man.
Of course.
And of course it's a woman, but it
course.
wasn't always a woman. It's fascinating. Many men in Germany were also tortured and executed as witches. I don't know where that comes from, except for the fact that they probably had property or money that they wanted to seize.
Yeah, that's probably the crux of it all, isn't it?
So here's another one of those neck fiddles or neck violins. Same effect, but now made out of iron for an accused witch.
Yeah.
Elemental, right? So here we
So
are.
it's like
Or like this.
that,
right?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, the way my hands are.
Jeez.
Cross in front. The one in behind it's really interesting. It's a double. And that was made for, say there were two women that were arguing. You'd lock them into one of those and in the town square, and they'd remain locked up till they resolved their differences. Facing each other. You see? One neck and hands here and on the other side. It's rather brilliant.
It's
in its own
ingenious.
twisted way,
That is
because
ingenious.
in these smaller communities in which people lived, you couldn't have people carrying grudges. Everyone had to be productive. The bread maker had to make bread. The brick maker had to make bricks. You couldn't have this stuff going on. So what do? You make something.
You make
that.
something like that. Yeah.
This is a witch trial restraint chair. The person would be brought from the prison And there's bolts and chains attached to it.
Yeah.
They'd be forced to sit in this chair while the trial was commenced, chained into the chair, attached to the staples on the chair. And this was used in the courtroom. And these would be used, of course, to further the confession, you might say. And this one in particular is worse than that. This is for Scotland. They brand the witch on the face before they burnt them with a W occasionally.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's incredible. I mean,
Evil.
yeah, it's strange how we ended up with all these things. It just kind of took over, and then people in Europe started to find out that there was a guy that was looking for these things, and then it all took over.
Yeah. Some more of these are more of the shame masks.
Yeah, the shame masks are fantastic. This one is the shame mask of the devil, and he's still got the bells still making
Oh, look
noise.
at that.
I wonder if somebody on their way to execution as a witch was forced to wear that. I don't know.
Maybe.
This one in the middle, there's one just like it in the Rotenburg Crime Museum in Germany. You've got big ears, you hear other people's business.
Yeah.
You got a big tongue, you talk their business, right?
Biceps, yeah.
Now these are known as the pair of anguish. When you turn this screw, they either close up and resemble vaguely the shape of a pear with a bulbous end, or they can be cranked open. And there's many books on torture and punishment that have this. They say these were inserted in the vaginas of women and in the anus of homosexual men as a punishment. Rubbish. If you've ever seen the crowning head of a baby, you'll know that this wouldn't do much. These were put in the mouth of people that were in the pillory, that were blaspheming or cursing or yelling or what have you. There you are in the pillory, put this in your mouth. It's an expandable gag. Oh, now you can't say what they don't want you to, right?
Yeah.
The wheel on this one means that it was the property of the executioner. The wheel, we said earlier, justice.
Yeah.
And this one would have been used on somebody they were worried might cast a spell of the devil on them, maybe a witch. We've got the devil chiseled into the top of it.
Yeah.
They were very symbolic, these people. They got right into symbolism.
They were indeed.
Because it's what you had, you know. In here, there's a number. Oh, before we go there, this is another interesting thing. This is another Folterstein Strapato stone.
Look at that.
To attach to the ankles. And behind it is a human leg bone. Wow. And shattered at both ends.
Yeah.
By that device that's behind it. That is an iron blade that would be attached to a cartwheel. One of the worst public executions they had was called breaking with the wheel. They would tie you spread eagle to the ground. They'd put boards under, or logs, to raise your arms and legs up. They would drop a cartwheel, crunch, 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 breaking the legs in several places, breaking the arms in several places. And then, if they were merciful, the blade that was mounted on some of these wheels would be brought down to sever the head or break the neck. Incredible. It's gruesome.
Yeah.
That leg bone was discovered in Switzerland by people doing road work. They came across a massive execution site.
Wow.
And they run across these quite frequently in Europe, where somebody's long forgotten there was ever anything there, and they're usually on the outskirts of a town or village. You wouldn't execute people in town. You know those old medieval movies we see where the big bare-chested executioner on the axe, and you never did it in town because you didn't want their spirits wandering the streets afterwards. You do it on the outskirts of town.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we think that is the damage. It kind of looks like the damage that's caused by that.
It is the damage caused by the wheel.
So that's not a clean.
No, it's shattered.
Break,
it's
is it? Literally.
Yeah. Down here you can really see it. Come on down here. Look at that. It's splintered. It's just that's from breaking with the wheel.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Wow.
Like I said, men were dealt terrible punishments, but women in the witch hunts really got it. You see that demon, that's an old woodcut of a demon that they believed had caused this rain and hailstorm. Once again, we're back to the weather.
Yeah.
She has pendulous breasts, right? So we know it must be another thing pointing at the females. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
It's incredible. And you have back then a limited population that could read. So you'd have to listen to the holy men. They knew the truth, eh? They'd say, oh, there's witches in our midst. Ooh, ah. You know, everybody looking around in abject terror. Yeah. In here we have a number of different devices, a very ornate pear gag.
Wow, look at that.
It's, some more thumb screws of different types. This one here, imagine that on the toes, the ones with the studded spikes. I mean, They absolutely gave it thought, and they went to great trouble to make these things.
Maximum pain, that's what they wanted, isn't it?
Yeah,
Maximum pain.
And the thing was, it was a big sin to kill somebody under torture. The idea was you had to get them to confess guilt and then punish them.
Yeah.
Down here we have another pair of those pliers, which are just vile.
And remember what we said, guys. These are authentic.
Oh, yes.
They've been used.
You see the claw piece back
I can
there?
see that.
Well, like you're stretched naked on a rack. Usually people were tortured nude so they could get access to every part of the body. And I'm quite convinced that some of these torturers got off on what they were doing. I mean, there was more to this than... Sadism. Yeah, oh, absolutely. That would be drawn across the rib cage or the chest or whatever, and it would do some damage. But once again, you really don't want to kill the person.
No.
That's for the shin. These are all different types of vices that they used. These leg shackles, they're still riveted shut. They were dug up very close to Salem, Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah, and it's believed by the person I got them from that somebody that was hanged for witchcraft was wearing those.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't prove it.
No.
But on the other hand, I found documentation that says that the people that were imprisoned for witchcraft, they were all riveted into irons. So that puts us on the... And those were never struck off. The rivets are intact. So the person...
Could have been, yeah. Could have been.
Here we have some... Oh, yeah, that's another shame mask. And here, incredibly rare documents. You've got documents relating to the execution of Charles I.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
When England was in a state of regicide, meaning that there was no ruling king for the first time in history, in their history. And then this was by the head of the Inquisition at the time, talking about dealing with Turkish people and how they must be converted to Catholicism or else. And he's writing to a local priest saying use whatever methods you deem necessary.
Yeah.
And that's about all it took, eh?
Wow.
There's a winch, a roller winch from an actual rack. It's very, very old. It's from the 1500s. And you can see a picture down below how they would have used that. The pole would go in the holes and still got some of the rope attached to it, which is so amazing.
Look at that. Right, it's there, guys. You see that?
Isn't that wild? Yeah. So it's like
a bit blurred.
Now the rope that's in there is still that old. I mean, the stories it would tell.
If only they could talk.
Well, let's hope they wouldn't. They'd scream.
Yeah.
I'll grab some water right here
I
behind
think
me.
there'd be a lot of screaming going on in this room.
Yeah, there would be. I don't, I try not to think about it much. I'm in here, my office is right over there, but I try not to, I don't know, it doesn't bother me. When I see shit that's happening nowadays, this stuff bothers me.
Yeah.
All right, now, the biggest lie this is the typical desk of a witch hunter. So everything on this desk is from the 1600s, the legal books, the documents, everything. We wanted to put it together to show how these people worked in the dungeon. This is where your inquisitor would sit, where you're being questioned.
Yeah.
This is an actual leg bone that could be used to threaten people with. No, seriously.
No,
you will go back to this, and it's just wild.
Wow. This chair is
Isn't
actually...
that amazing?
Yeah.
Pretty face for dark deeds. There we go.
Look at that.
The thing that's in that is really interesting. It's called if you can, here, pull this out just a bit. There's a skull head on it. It's called a shame rosary, and it comes from Germany. It's very, very old. It may be Swiss.
Wow, look at that.
And that's for being in the pillory. So in other words, if you didn't attend church regularly, they might put this around your neck, symbolic again.
Yeah.
And then lock you in the pillory or chain you at the waist to a post in the middle of town. So everyone would notice that, oh, you're not going to church, eh? Bad boy. So it's a rosary. It's an exaggerated, huge rosary.
Yeah.
Right?
That's nuts.
It is nuts. Wild, eh? Old. New string, but old.
Yeah.
This, the greatest torture instrument that never existed. The Iron Maiden, complete fabrication.
Really?
Yeah. In the 1800s in Nuremberg, Germany, there was a torture museum. And the curator there, his name's been lost to history, was wondering, how can I get more people through the doors? Well, he had a cabinet that was shaped like, it was a wooden cabinet shaped like a woman's body,
Yeah.
and henceforth Iron Virgin. And the head on it was carved like the Virgin Mary. This one is not.
No.
There's other ones that aren't either. So basically what he did is, what I think he had was something that they would use to punish sinners, where they put them inside this cabinet until they were willing to come out. And then they would say, I re-accept the Lord or something. And you are given virgin birth into the world as a new Christian. They'd open the doors, you'd step out, everybody would applaud, and they'd go for the feast. Not much of a punishment, more of a symbolic thing.
Okay.
So he took bayonets and drove it through the wooden walls of this thing and created the Iron Virgin of Nuremberg, the Iron Maiden. And that's where it all started.
Oh,
So they're all nonsense. And pretty soon, every dungeon in every castle in Europe had an Iron Maiden to go next to the rack or whatever. People had them made up. Yeah.
Oh.
Shame, eh?
Yeah, that's a shame.
I know. Think about it, though. Since executions were done in public to deter people from bad behavior, it's really crappy as that sort of a device. You put somebody in, you close the doors, you hear a muffled scream. Next. All right, see you next week, folks. That's no good.
Yeah.
You want something they can see.
Yeah.
And that just isn't it. We had a bust made of the Fox of Dornheim. We had a Mexican, don't worry, special effects studio make us that from
Look
an
at that.
old woodcut.
Look at that.
That's where
Actually.
you put your butt.
Oh, yeah, I'm
You
feeling.
watch the spikes.
That's a pretty merciless face.
That is.
Isn't it?
No, that's evil.
It is. Yes, it is. They did a really good job.
That is evil.
They
You can
captured his
see it
essence quite well.
in the eyes, can't you? That
Isn't it?
is just pure dead behind the
I've
eyes.
seen
But
that look before.
that is evil.
It is. So anyway, yeah, we have him here. I don't know why, but
That's
there
pretty
it is.
cool. No, that's
is cool.
really good.
And here we've got some flagons for drinking ale, wine with, that come from Nuremberg, from the man that took over, Bamberg, from the Prince Bishop that took over after he disappeared.
Oh, wow.
The Fox of Dornheim did an interesting thing. In 1631, the Swedish armies were surrounding the town of Bamberg.
Yeah.
He looted the church. He took all his gold and all his silver and loaded up some chests, and somehow got through on a carriage through the enemy lines, went to a place called Spittel am Pirn, which is in Austria, at a monastery in the Alps, and mysteriously died there within the year. And nobody knows where he's buried, what happened to all the stuff that he took. So he was,
Strange that.
yeah, absolutely. This carving in the back here is really old. This is from Germany in the 1500s. And it's showing sinners being burnt in a witch oven. They actually tried, and this is really gruesome, they had so many witch burnings at one point that forests were being decimated so badly that somebody came up with this brilliant idea, let's make it like a bread oven. Let's make a kiln. So a couple of locales tried that, and they actually found it saved on lumber.
Man.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? It is mad. Wow. If we put 1/5 of what we have put into ways to harm each other, incarcerate each other, enslave each other, and execute and torture each other, this world, we would have the cure for cancer. We'd have everything.
Yep.
It would be a utopia. So,
This looks interesting.
well, this is an electric chair, but it never killed anybody.
Okay.
This is a funnier story than that. This chair was made by a guy that was a former inmate at the Nebraska State Penitentiary in the United States. They had him sweep up in the room. He was a prison custodian, low security prisoner. And when he left, so he was around the chair they had all the time. When he left work, he got this idea in his head, that looks pretty comfortable. He made this and sat and watched TV in it and had his drinks every night. I kid you not, I'm not kidding. True enough.
This. Wow.
Now this leg electrode and this head cap, they come from a film called Just Mercy. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's with the fellow that, I can't remember his name, the brilliant African-American actor. He plays Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed's son in the movie Creed. I can't remember his name.
I can't recall.
You know the guy though, eh?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he plays a lawyer in the Deep South that's trying to rescue people from being executed. And yeah, these are from the movie because, but this is a real one. It's from New York State. It's very, very old. The tricky thing with, well, not tricky. I don't try to get things from a lot of the modern stuff. It creeps me out too much. somehow when you're looking at the old things, you can feel that we've almost distanced ourselves, and they don't bother me as much.
Yeah.
But electric chairs are all owned by the states. Every state that has one still has it. This is the only piece of an electric chair that's ever been sold. It's real. It's the foot shackle off the Cook County Jail's electric chair, which was in Chicago. This was installed in the 1920s, and it was attached to the bottom part of the chair, so your ankles would go where these loops are. And they would, Adam, can you grab a hold of that? Yeah, sure. So these things, you push these, and the wood's warped, so they're in there, but they will come out if you hit them.
Yeah.
And that way they're dangling open. They wanted a quick way to get a guy in a chair, because if you look at all the straps you have to do up, people don't want to go.
Yeah.
Some of them will be kicking and fighting. So they had this developed for the Cook County electric chair. It once was black. You can even see where some of the black paint is still on it, where it was cleaned up. So what ended up happening was eventually, and then they'd get your feet here and they'd slam these things, and this trigger would hold them shut. Like they just go shut. And you can see, where is it? I can't see it right now, but on these bars, there's different notches where you can see that people have tried to kick back and tried to get out. I know it's horrible. But anyway, what happened was this thing stopped working. And guys were eventually able to kick their foot forward and it would stop working. So they sent the chair to sit in Joliet prison, to the wood shop. This was taken off. They built a new design of a foot clamp and put it on the chair and used it from the late 1930s onwards.
Oh, wow.
And this was eventually given to a cop who was a highway patrol guy who collected police memorabilia out of the Joliet wood shop. They said, "Oh, we got a piece of the old Cook County electric chair here."
Nice.
Yeah, so it's one of the only it's the only piece I know of in private hands.
Look at that. Awesome.
Yeah, that's quite the piece.
Yeah.
I mean, but it freaks me out. 300 people died in that chair.
Wow.
In that.
The
Yeah, wearing that or being attached to that.
I gotta go wash my hands.
Yeah, no kidding. This is an interesting restraint from Germany. Very, very old, 1500s. This would go around your neck and your upper torso to lock you to the wall of a cell. Now, if you think about that, that's kind of passive-aggressive torment, because you can't lie down. You're forced to stand up or sit in an upright position.
Man.
That would get quite annoying. Yeah, wild, eh? So it locks down here. And this would chain to the wall or whatever. And
Crikey.
here we have another thumb screw mounted to a pedestal. Teeth everywhere inside that one.
I don't know why I cringe so much when you feel like your hands and your feet and your fingers and it's just...
So this is my friend, my good friend, one of my best friends, Guido Varese. He and his family have a thing called the Henker Museum in Sissac, Switzerland. Henker means executioner museum. He's one of the only people I know that, like myself, has an interest in acquiring these things and showing them to people and educating about them. I know, that's quite a morbid picture. They look like a family of undertakers. It was done that way on purpose.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like that.
He also runs a tattoo studio. It's amazing, just up the road.
It's pretty gothic, isn't it?
It's very. And that's the inside of his Henker Museum, part of it anyway.
Yeah, awesome.
He's got his own guillotine. And up there on the right side of that is a flogging whip from a British prison from the 1950s.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, and you'd think that doesn't look so severe.
No.
But they are.
Yeah.
That's made out of a type of, jute? The type of fiber that they're made out of. And
it's rough.
It's rough, and it would, believe it or not, they're thin enough, they would open your back, you know. And we flogged prisoners in Canadian prisons up into the 60s. The Don Jail in Toronto did it. The Kingston Penitentiary did it. For infractions. If you broke the rules of the prison, you could be...
That's nuts, isn't it? That's nuts.
Yes, it is. This one's much worse, though. This is a flogging whip from one of the prisoner colonies in Australia. And you should feel those tines. They're unbelievable. They're absolutely rigid.
Jeez, it's like metal.
Yeah, I know.
It really is.
They don't kid around in Australia. Oi!
Oi, mate.
Yeah, mate. Couple of these, eh? No. That's very bad, actually. That thing is severe.
Touch that, Adam. You'll see it. It just feels like metal.
It's wild. He doesn't want to touch. He's like, I don't want to touch that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get whipped.
It's like getting hit with a cable, electric cable.
Yeah.
And this is a wrist, ankle, and neck set of manacles from Cologne, Germany.
Yeah.
On a light?
That's wild.
No, I think I can
So
see
it's
it.
very, very rigid. You know, you're stuck in that position and you can't flex your legs or bend your arms or anything like you. I know, and this is just being chained up in the dungeon. This isn't even a punishment yet.
One of my phobias is being trapped.
Oh, so
And that you'd feel trapped in that because you can't go anywhere or do anything, can you? You can't move your arms too far, your legs.
You can't attend to your sanitary needs
No.
either. Can you imagine?
No.
You're sitting there in a pile of your own, you know. These manacles are interesting too. That rope. That's a hangman's rope. Part of one.
Section of gallows rope used to hang Ramon Panero, is that?
Yep.
For the crime of murder at the Graham Country Jail in
Graham County Jail.
Solomonville, Graham
Arizona.
County, Arizona. Wow, 1800s.
Yeah, and here's an invitation to that execution right here.
Oh my goodness. So that's the actual rope, right?
It's part of the rope, yeah.
Wow.
So this fellow here was an auxiliary sheriff, auxiliary law enforcement in those territories.
Yeah.
And he went to that, that's him named there. Harry, I can't make that out right now. He was given that by the warden to attend that execution. Hold on, let me do this. Wait, why didn't I do this earlier? There you go. Not really, not that much better.
No, a little bit. I think I can pick that up on the camera.
So anyway, that's his badge. That's his invitation to the execution. And that's a piece of the barbed wire they had going around the prison where they did it. Wow. So he mounted all those on a plaque. Yeah, that's the fellow who was given the invitation. And he got the rope as well. Wild, eh?
Yeah.
Strange. Look at this one, Adam. Look at this. This is from Huntsville, Texas. This, I've heard it said, was made out of a part they replaced on the Texas electric chair.
Right.
It's oak. It makes sense. It would. This sat on the warden's desk, and he kept his business cards in the back.
Oh, look at that.
Can you believe that, man? Wow. Justice lives in Texas, man. I'm telling you. It really does.
Oh, my goodness.
It's quite the business card holder.
So these manacles were the same kind that were used on the assassination conspirators that murdered Lincoln.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see them chained up in this particular type of a...
Look at that.
Oops. Everything's pointy around here. You got to be careful how you back up. Yeah, I'm good. And down there we have an electric chair built by somebody in the Deep South. A prisoner built in the wood shop, and they would trade these for cigarettes. Or sell them for cigarettes at a commissary.
Wow.
It's pretty accurate.
That is pretty cool, actually.
It's old.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at this. You think that's good? This came from Louisiana. These are the keys to the building where they housed the chairs that people would sit in to witness the execution. Front door chair building.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Eh? I mean, put time into this and thought about it. That's
this stuff is creepy and it's horrible.
Very much so.
But it's also pretty interesting and pretty cool as well.
It is. And it has stories to tell that we need to learn.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Here you got an iron boot. The leg would be put in this and then boiling water poured in or oil sometimes. Window bars from a prison in Tyrol, Germany that held witches. Those are from the 1500s. And this is from a Scottish prison. That's a neck collar that were bolted to a wall. And here's a set of ankle irons from a German torture dungeon.
Christ, they look heavy.
Oh, they're heavy. What's missing is what was in these holes. Spikes would have been hammered through those. This thing, just feel this, Adam. Check it out, because you've been wearing those on your ankles. That's nuts, eh?
Yeah, that's not going on my ankles.
No. Well, but it would back in the day.
How heavy was that?
It was heavy.
It's
Almost broke my shoulder.
And here we have the left arm of an executed criminal. They believed in something called the hand or the arm of glory, that if you could get the severed left hand or arm of a criminal, it would help you to pass through walls, cast spells, pick locks. Yeah, so that's the actual mummified arm of a person executed. I know. I don't like human anything. I don't even want that in the collection. I'm about the system of the justice. I don't want...
No, I understand.
But we ended up getting that from somebody, and I had no choice. I had to take it.
But it kind of...
I had no choice.
Do you know what I nearly said? It goes hand in hand. But I nearly stopped myself, but actually, it's it's relative, isn't it? It's relative to everything else that we've been talking about.
Certainly a call to arms, isn't it? Sorry about that. I couldn't help it.
I need to give you a hand.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God. You'll notice the middle finger is coming up.
Yeah.
No, it's giving the finger, as I would be.
Yeah,
if it were
I do
me.
this too.
Yeah.
No, so would I.
Wow.
No, we have these things and I care about them. We're joking, but sometimes you have to trust me.
Do you know, like, it's just dark humour, isn't it? You have to have a little bit of humour, I think.
Oh, you do? Especially like with these things or you go mad. Here's something for the lazy torturer. So your bare feet go in here. This is tied around your ankles with a rope, okay? So you're in the shoe. It's got a pointed toe. You're hauled up until you're balancing on your tiptoes, but with enough slack that you could go flat-footed. And when you do, this spring-loaded plate comes through the front, and you go back up on your toes again. This is for the lazy torturer, the passive-aggressive torturer. He wants to play Xbox or something, so he rigs you up. He doesn't have to do anything. Look at the spikes. They're so wild. I mean, but it's all done by gravity and spring steel. Isn't that something, eh?
We've all stood on a sharp object before, haven't we? Let's face it.
That's what I meant, like Lego and stuff. These people, they were way
Well, you've
ahead
actually
of
got
us.
a pair of them. Look
Yeah,
at
I
that.
got a pair of them. And here's another odd one here at the bottom, if I can get to it. I don't know. I might be able to. That type of punishment shoe. These bells, they still sort of ring. Your foot would go in here, and then they turn the screw. And it would crush your foot.
Yeah.
And then you'd be forced to walk through town wearing these, and that they'd be ringing, and people would be mocking you. Yes. We'll teach you not to walk in the way of the Lord anymore. And, yeah. Good old kind religious folk. So much mercy.
That's nuts. It really is.
This shelf down here has the accoutrements that would be used by a British executioner. Not the noose, that's much earlier. But you have the tape to measure the drop. And you have the straps, the pinion strap for the ankle and for the wrists.
Yeah.
And underneath this ruler here, which is used to measure the rope that was for the drop, you have the black cap. And the black cap would be worn by a judge when pronouncing the sentence of death.
Wow.
So you're in a courtroom, it's something you never want to see the old British judges put on, this black cap.
Oh, yeah.
Because it means you're going to be, you're not.
Oh my goodness. And pliers. Look at that.
That's for tying the rope. They would have the rope and then they'd take a section of it and bring it up and put a twist of wire around it so that you would fall and then there'd be that sudden drop and snap. So the rope would drop that extra amount and cause the break in the neck. Yeah, so that would be basically a kit of a hangman.
Thank you.
Right. Up here, really quick, we've got that ceramic container. Back in the day, as I said, a lot of executioners were outlawed. The early days, like to civilized society, nobody wanted to hang with the executioner.
Yeah.
So they had to make their own ointments and stuff and make their own salves. And it's a very interesting story. The executioner wasn't a sadist; he had a job to do. So if you were poor and you lived in the village and you get a rash or cut your arm or you're hurt, you can't afford to go to the local doctor. You buckled up your courage and you went out of town. You took a ride to the executioner's house. And he would help you for no charge.
Oh,
and
wow.
that container would have contained human fat that he would take off some of the victims and make a salve out of it that they would put over wounds and so forth. So he was an early pharmacological experimental guy that would make these sorts of. I know. I mean, it's not common. This is really beautiful though. This is the type of goblet that the Prince Bishop of Bamberg stole from the cathedral when he took off with all his treasure.
Oh, wow.
This is from the 1620s. It's from Nuremberg. But it's gorgeous. I don't know if we can see them. This little cherub faces carved in it. It's gold. It's covered in gold
You
leaf. It's bronze with gold leaf, isn't it?
kind of make that out. That
Gorgeous.
is beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Wow.
all hand carved. And so no wonder they were robbing people back then and saying they were witches.
Yeah.
All right, so like that fella there. Oh yeah, here's I was showing you the breaking with the wheel. This is an actual document from the 1500s, a woodcut, showing that being done, and then they would braid you into the spokes of the wheel.
Oh my goodness.
Because your limbs are all shattered and hoist you up to stay there for the elements.
Crikey.
It was atrocious, just atrocious. That's the strappato, see, with the weights tied to the feet and the hands and the pulley. And then while you're like that, they could do anything else they wanted to here.
So tell me about this handsome chap then.
Well, this fellow was likely hanged, and it happened in the 1700s. He's from Belgium, and he once was a soldier. And what's fascinating, if you look at his skull, you can see he probably was hanged for desertion. He lived a long time. He lived into his 40s.
Right.
I've shown this to people that know about the bones and how to... But you look at the marks on his skull.
Yeah.
You see edged weapon wounds. That's how we know he was a soldier. He'd gone to battle several times. He'd been wounded. He'd had swords like hit him in the head and stuff. But you can see where the bones knitted itself over it, and these have started to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
My goodness.
It's a big fella for back then too, eh? That seems to be a sizable skull. I don't know.
Do you know
a lot
what? Yeah,
about
you're
these,
right,
but
isn't it? But
yeah, everyone I've shown it to says, "Man, that's large."
Crikey. Wow.
Yep. This fellow up here, this is, pardon me, that's John Proctor. That was painted in the 1700s. In 1692, he was a wealthy landowner in Salem, Massachusetts, and his wife was accused of being a witch, and she was hanged. Well, he kicked up quite a fuss about that, so they killed him as well. And they took his land. He had the first pub in Salem. They took all of it. Yeah, the local officials grabbed everything.
What about that frame? Is that an original, is it?
Well, no, that frame, I would imagine, would probably come from the early 1800s. It's got a lot of
And what I mean is it's old.
No, he's older. He's
yeah.
pretty close to the
Look
time
at that
period
then,
almost.
guys.
He doesn't look like a very happy guy. I guess that
He
would
doesn't
be.
look happy, no. Wow.
This is beyond rare. This is from 1692 was the Salem witch hunts. This is from 1701. It's a document from the Massachusetts colony promoting 12 of the people that served in the Salem witch trials to better judicial positions.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the seal.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the official seal of, that would have come out of, Middlesex County? I can't remember. Whatever they called Boston back then. That's where the high courts were. And this is a hand-carved effigy of the devil face. And this is Bavarian. And something like this would have been used by the church to cause the witch hunts. Can you imagine if you get all these people in front of you that are illiterate and don't know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And they trust you. You're the vicar or you're the bishop, whatever.
Yeah.
And you say this. We found this in the woods, near a site where the witches had a sabbat. Well, guess what? That would scare the shit out of you. And now you know. Witches are in our midst. Well, all of a sudden, you're ratting out your neighbor because their dog pissed on your lawn. Or and one person rats out the other person. And then you start the arrest. Then the tortures start. Then more people are hauled in.
That's actually quite brilliant, though, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Eh?
And look at how ornate that is, really.
That's incredible carving.
Craftsmanship.
But if you remember the carving of Justitia, it's the same darkness, ancient patina of the wood, and the same kind of carving. It's from that period.
Wow. I actually quite like that.
Isn't it? It's quite neat, eh?
But back then, it's
terrifying.
That would have been terrifying
for
sure. Yeah, more locks.
Because the only people that could have had, these locks here, I've been collecting them for many, many years. These are all, some of them go back to the 1500s. They're just different types of padlocks, and this is some of them are amazing. The stuff that they thought of back in the day, like somebody handmade this in the early 1600s. So your key goes in, then your key turns and drops down, and then it has to turn again, not once, not twice to open the lock. This is complex, and this is like back then they're making this, eh?
How cool.
Yeah. This one here was used on a witch prison. It's a particularly special lock because of what it does. It's heavy. Feel this. This is for a dungeon door for like a witch's prison. And we know that because, I'll tell you why we know that. I made the key for it. It didn't have a key. And that's what good old locks mean. So watch. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And it opens. 3 forms of protection, right? Against the devil.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's locked once, it's locked twice, and now it's triple locked. Yeah, neat, eh?
Very neat.
Well, this stuff all this symbolism was so important to them. It meant something, right?
Yeah.
You know, it just scared the crap out of me. So I heard something out there. It's probably like the air conditioner or whatever.
Yeah, dehumidifier.
So I looked out that way, and I see the reflection of that mask in the...
Oh, the Prince Bishop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And I can see through it. And I was like, what? I almost spooked.
It's not wild. I know, I work down here, but it's weird. Do you see what I'm saying?
I can see him.
And
And it looks very ghost-like, doesn't
It
it?
does.
Because it's a reflection.
over here, and all these cards that are on the wall, they were made in the early 1900s in Germany. They show how a lot of these old-time punishments were, so you can walk in there if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, get right in front of it and shoot it. Not that. That's something else.
No,
about
but that's
persecution of
pretty.
women. Yeah, but all these cards. So
Yeah,
they show
look at
the
these,
use of shame masks and the shame pillories and a lot of public humiliation. We need to
Yeah.
bring some of that back, I think.
Do you know what?
I think
It
that's,
sounds extreme, doesn't it? But, you know,
it's just humiliation.
yeah.
Worse things are done on the internet every day. You know?
Wow. I love it.
Yeah, isn't that neat, eh?
Yeah. Oh, look at that one.
So the person's wearing a wolf or a dog mask?
Yeah.
That likely would have meant that they were rooting through garbage like a dog would do. So they were probably scavenging through your trash.
Wow.
So the punishment would fit the crime. Like
Yeah.
you wear a mask of a dog. If you were behaving like a pig, you'd wear a mask of a pig.
Crikey.
Look at that one there from 1499, that woodcut on the wall there.
This
The
one?
person being sawn in half.
Oh yeah, they did that in the movie Terrifier.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
One girl hanging
seen
out.
it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen art
Oh.
yet, but I like art.
Terrifier.
Down there are some of the rarest handcuffs that there are, some of the strangest patterns I've ever tried to escape from or accumulated in the collection. Over the
Wow,
years.
look at them there. They are strange shapes as
Some of
well.
them are fantastic, like really odd, really weird. From all over the world. They're all antiques. Terrifier, yeah, what did we saw the other night? My God, the new Mummy movie.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, dude.
It's good.
Oh, yeah. But you have to look at, like, you like horror?
Yeah.
Then you're going to love it then. But you have to look at it with an open mind. Forget about Mummy, like Christopher Lee and the Karloff, the Mummy shuffling around trying to strangle people. And forget about the Mummy movies in Egypt with all the magic spells and shit like that. Oh, there's magic in this, but it's so gruesome, dude. It just freaked me out. I couldn't believe it. It was so good. Yeah, that's a neat thing. There's a couple things. There's a woodcut there that's underneath on the wall. An old woodcut document that's very rare. And it's showing the devil riding away with a maiden he's kidnapped on the back of this horse. And this is like, really shows you how they thought that women were easy prey for the devil's charms, right? They weren't intellectual enough to resist him. And it was all nonsense. And that thing beside it is really cool. That's old. That's from the 1400s. That was beside an Irish cottage or an Irish home. And that is a demon holding a club, or like a shillelagh almost. That was to guard the home against evil entering the house.
Wow.
So that's what that's for. Protection.
Yeah.
A demon guarding against demons.
Yeah. Which is...
Anything. Neat, eh?
Yeah, that is neat. Just explain for some people that don't know, when you say woodcut document, what do you mean?
A woodcut is the first printing presses, where basically you would have a piece of wood and you would carve all these illustrations into the wood, including the text plates as well. You're carving every little bit by hand. Can you imagine? Like, to make a book was a monstrously huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Then that woodcut or that wood slab would be slathered with ink, and then the parchment paper would be put underneath, and then with a screw, it would be pressed onto the parchment, and it would be like a rubber stamp, if you think about it,
Awesome.
working that way. But they were carved by hand. I mean, it's just
one of them
outrageous.
guys. Look. Can you imagine?
Yeah, not me, thanks.
Couldn't even write like that.
What's that, Steve? Is that any?
No, that was given to us by somebody. That's an African juju man stick. It's some sort of magic, but I don't know what.
Pretty nice, eh?
Yeah, it's
Wow, awesome. Absolutely awesome.
this
What
book here is
chair.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be right there. That's a Prince Bishop's chair from Germany. It's all hand carved. And the box is a witch hunter's toolkit where they would go from town to town with their...
Wow.
Most people didn't know how to detect witches. So
Yeah.
there actually were people that went around and did this. It's too bad the bottom on that had rotted out and it's been replaced a long time ago on that trunk. But it's still amazingly old, all hand forged.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And this book here is really fantastic. This is very old. You see the date here, 1538. It's called a chronic or a chronicle. This is from Nuremberg, Germany, and it chronicles 200 years of the city. And their job would be to write in that major happenings of the city. In there, we find reports on executions. Interestingly, Nuremberg, which was a very cultured place at the time, they didn't go in for the witch hunt hysteria. All Germany seemed to be swept up in it, but they were too intellectual for that. They had a lot of intelligent minds, scientists, and so forth. And the areas that were the hardest hit were the rural areas. So it kind of brings to mind certain things that keep reoccurring.
Yeah.
We need a solid base of education in any society
Yeah.
to resist believing in weird crap that doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
And this is from Salem. This is a child's toy from the 1600s.
Oh, I thought it was something to keep pages down because it was on that book.
No,
It's
not.
I don't think that's
it's
a toy.
actually a doll. It's a hand-carved toy.
Wow.
And I imagine if you believe in witchcraft or whatever, this could be used to, if you believe, to cast spells or what have you. But yeah, isn't that neat? Look at the old patina. It's just like the patina on that devil mask or whatever. It's old. Very old.
Look at this, guys. Oops, got a bit
I guess that's what children would have to play with back then.
What else did they have, though?
The devil. Just kidding. Well, that led to that.
That's surprisingly light, actually, as well, isn't it?
I don't know what it is.
No.
But it's old.
It is.
Very old.
I best put it down, eh?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Wow.
Fortunately, it's only fatal if you handle it, which is why I've always avoided handling it. Sorry. Just kidding. Anyway, I know. Men, eh? But this is the criminal punishment collection. It's
absolutely awesome.
It's taken over. There's a lot of it. And the problem with it is getting it exhibited, getting it out there. People are just too skittish about the political correctness of the world.
I don't understand because...
how
many times have we said this, though? You cannot erase your history. You cannot erase history.
No,
so let's look.
can't.
Why are we not learning by it and
We should be.
doing better? I don't get it. I can
See, our past history in criminal punishment.
Wait, go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't started yet. Okay, now I'm... Oh, only 10% battery remaining.
Okay.
So as you can see, our history of criminal punishment has been, by and large, a gruesome story, an enlightening story. It makes you mindful of what we're doing, what we could still be doing. And really, it can't be hidden away. It shouldn't be hidden away.
No, for sure.
I mean, I don't think this is something for the family, bring the kiddies, But and that's why we don't show it to anybody but responsible adults. But really, it is history, which should not be denied.
No, it's fascinating, Steve. It's really fascinating. And the knowledge that you've got as well to actually remember about all of this stuff, to be able to tell me the story. I'm in awe, but thank you very much. And it's
thanks so much.
really awesome. Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Cheers.